Good morning, one and all, and welcome back to the Preport. A Preport that occurs on a day in which we are in this very interesting time where the couple, Donald Trump and Melania Trump, who seem to exist as the figureheads of this movement wherein nothing they say or do can have any negative effect on them, we found that there are actually lines. And they're similar lines. So today on the full show, we're going to be talking about Donald Trump, who apparently crossed that line and is now facing a sort of open rebellion amongst some of his evangelical supporters. And similarly, on the Preport today, we're going to talk about Melania Trump, who also angered basically the same group for similar reasons as Donald Trump. So we're going to be breaking that down for you. Thank you to all of you who are already here, especially those of you who've hit the like button, because we do have a lot to talk about. We will get to that main story in just a few minutes on what will probably be a slightly short Preport. But first, I want to play a video for you. And I love this video. I think it's hilarious. I'm going to play it for you. And I want you to think about what might be wrong with the argument that's being made here. Okay? I think the volume's up good. We'll see. Maybe we'll get blasted sonically.
More than scream, because just like they thought the moon would never leave, they say Trump's going to stay for life.
You hear about Trump saying he's going to be a dictator for a day, which is not going to be for a day if it happens. Could be for the rest of our lifetimes and our children's and more.
Just like what happens after every eclipse. Everybody knows Trump's going to leave office just like he did the last time.
Okay. And so that doofus, of course, smiles kind of at the screen because he knows how stupid the argument he's making is. I mean, let's acknowledge that before he makes that stupid argument, he makes another stupid argument, which is, I'm going to say that these are the same people. The libs who are freaking out about the fact that Donald Trump literally says he'll be a dictator and constantly jokes about being president for life and goes around the country bowing at the feet of the world's dictators and all that. You guys are crazy because you think he'll actually do it. Are the same people who are freaked out that the moon will never return or something. I don't think that's a part of an eclipse, but he seems to think it is. You might want to talk to your own side about their thoughts about the eclipse, because the right-wing Christians sure have a lot of thoughts about the eclipse and the rapture. And by the way, eclipse is done. I'm still here. Granted, I'm an atheist, so I probably wasn't going to get raptured either way, but it seems like all of them are still here. A lot of people made some bold predictions about that eclipse on TikTok and Twitter, and we're all still here. There are going to be apologies. There are going to be followers like, hey, you promised that such and such was going to happen. That's never the way it works. That's never. It's just going to be moved, kicked down the road a little bit. But anyway, the larger stupid point he's making there is, you guys need to stop being worried about Trump. Trump's not a dictator. He'll leave the same way he did last time. By trying to deny the results of the election, going around the country, launching dozens of lawsuits that fail, trying to convince secretaries of state to find him the votes, unleashing his fans on polling places, trying to disrupt the actual count, then culminating in a riot that he helped to organize in the Capitol, wherein they stormed the Capitol while chanting that they want to kill the vice president, while in the meantime they have their fake electors all over the place, and they have senators trying to stop the actual certification from going on. People literally die. Doo-doo is all over the floors of Congress. You know, he'll leave like that. So anyway, Jesse Waters knows what he's doing with his little wink to the camera. He wishes that Trump had been successful in his coup. He wants to be one of those who lives under an authoritarian state, but supports the dear leader, and so he'll do just fine. He won't get his head cut off. He won't, he'll make tons of money. He doesn't care if other people get trampled. That's who Jesse Waters is. He's an incredibly mediocre person who wants to shelter under the umbrella of the God Emperor. That's what he wants. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that either he will leave the same way as he did last time by trying to burn down democracy, or that he won't at all. I don't think that's unreasonable to fear. Jesse Waters. Okay. Shadow Dragon Dreamer, member for 14 months, says, rockin' the Reading Rainbow shirt. I love it, man. Thanks for helping keep the disabled progressive trapped in the deep south sane. I will try. This is given to me by Jordan Ewell. How awesome of a shirt. So that's Jesse Waters, the Eclipse man. You know who doesn't have any time for the Eclipse? Let me see. Oh, is it going to play an ad? It's going to play an ad. Damn ads. Okay, so in 14 seconds, we'll be talking about someone who has no time for the Eclipse. In the meantime, over 1,100 of you here, or that's what it says. There's only 433 likes, so what are those other 700 people doing? I don't know. How are you spending your time? What life decisions are you making? Well, anyway, we're going to move on to this now, just for a little bit of fun before we get to our main story. Let me turn up the volume a little bit just in case.
I thought I was watching it, and I thought it was maybe the Chuck Bliss that got in the way.
Hey, well, y'all, some of them losers standing outside watching that today.
They're not losers.
Yes, they are.
It doesn't happen often.
Hey, we've all seen darkness before. Stop it.
No, not in the daylight.
Come on, man.
Come on, Chuckster. Don't hate on the Eclipse.
Come on, stop
listen.
it.
I saw a loser standing watching your blimp. How about that? They were outside.
Okay, so Charles Barkley has no time for people who are interested in the Eclipse. And look, I guess I'm kind of on that side. I did not go and look at the Eclipse. I mean, granted, I'm in California, so, you know, it's not like we had, like, the best view of it or whatever. But, yeah, I don't have a problem with people who are interested in it. It's amazing. I mean, look, it is such a crazy, miraculous, special thing that, you know, people freaked out in ancient times when it happened. They thought it was the end of the world. Unfortunately, some people still think that for some reason. Some of them are congresswomen. It's crazy that they have the exact same approach to natural phenomena as cavemen did. It's super, super weird that people like that have political power, but unfortunately they do. That said, if you want to see something amazing and experience it, you should. As long as you're experiencing it. I just want to be the 1 millionth person to say, stop filming shit. I mean, film shit. You can film. I film my baby all the time, but like, don't film shit that you should be looking at. You know, like I take photos of my daughter because I've seen my daughter a million times. I am experiencing that, but I also want to, when I'm not with her, be able to see it, and I actually look at the photos. The fireworks filming, man, I will never understand it. I will never understand it. And by the way, we're coming off of WrestleMania. So I've seen, you know, the wrestlers will come out and they'll walk down the aisle or whatever. And there are people who pay tons of money to be right there. He's right there. She's right there. And they'll be filming it. It's like, but you're there. Your eyeballs could be filming it right now. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but they want to be able to go back and see it. Well, no, probably not. But let's say that you do. It's not that they're filming it. That's the easy criticism. It's that I see people filming the wrestler when they're 2 feet from their face and they're looking at their phone. You don't need to look at the phone to film it. You could be filming it and experiencing it. And the thing is, you might think, well, but then I might not have a perfectly framed video. It doesn't matter. The video is not about it being perfectly framed. It's about just being an artifact of the time. But you should see it in the first place. The artifact of the time is supposed to call back to the experience you had. So have the experience. I don't understand it, man. I saw a wrestler give it a promo. There's a dude with his phone right up against the dude's face. He's right there. Look at him. You can literally touch him if you want to. Don't touch him. But anyway, okay, let's see. More lies about abortion coming from the GOP, and they can just make it. They can just tell these lies. They will never get called out. Maria Bartiromo had this dude on who says that Democrats want to kill babies while they're coming out of the birth canal. And you might think, well, why would you say that? Well, you'd say it because you think it will convince some of your followers that you're not as crazy as the Democrats. And you wouldn't say it if telling a lie like that got pushback. But what if it didn't get pushback? What if you could just make whatever crazy, deranged lie you want, and it's totally cool? And that's what they do. Anyway. Okay, with that said, here's the thing. We need 250 likes. And look, I could launch into the final headline story of the pre-port. I could just do that. But would I be doing my job vis-a-vis you to teach you that you could just have whatever story you want with whatever like count we have? That seems irresponsible. There's over 1,700 people in the stream. I feel like we could get the 200 likes necessary to make this thing happen. Can we do it? Can we do it together? I'd like to stream myself if I could. In fact, in solidarity, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to try to like the stream, assuming that I'm not logged into that actual account and wouldn't be able to. I think, okay, hold on. I am hitting the like button. I am number 863. I have done all that I can do, but I need your help to get us there. We need just 100 more likes. In the meantime, I will let you know that coming up on the full show, we have Yasmin Ali Khan, which is going to be awesome. We are going to be talking about the other side of the main Preport story, which is Donald Trump on abortion. He is really drawing a lot of negative attention from the right now, and I think it's awesome. But we're also going to be talking about AOC striking back against deepfake pornography. That's going to be a lot of fun. Donald Trump showing kids pornography, sort of. That's how we'll be closing out the aftermath, and a whole lot more besides. Also, does Marjorie Greene possess the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit? She's making the case, so we're going to evaluate the evidence of that. But anyway, I want to turn now to our main story. So that is that, like Donald Trump facing this sort of open Christian rebellion over abortion, Melania is now being turned on by the right over her fundraiser. So the main reason I want to talk about this is that we previewed this, I think about a week ago. We said Melania Trump, who has not been actively participating in the campaign, really even showing up, is now doing an event, okay? And so we'd criticized her for not being a part of it, so we have to be fair. And I gave her credit because the fundraiser that she's doing is for the Log Cabin Republicans. So I want to show you, they put out this cordial invitation, Mar-a-Lago, Saturday, April 20th, so it's coming up soon. And you have a whole bunch of people, none of whom I'm actually familiar with, who are going to be showing up there. But that means that Mar-a-Lago is going to be the site of a fundraiser, which that's going to happen tons of time throughout the election. But Melania leading it, and Melania choosing to lead a fundraiser for the Log Cabin Republicans is legitimately interesting for the right now. Not just because she's with Trump and Trump has gone so hard against the LGBTQ community, but in particular, it's in Florida that this is happening, and Florida is like ground zero for trying to utterly annihilate the LGBTQ community. That's like the entire political identity of Ron DeSantis, who, by the way, man, has he disappeared from the national stage. So she chose to use her time for that, and I love it. I love it. Because something like that has no obvious political benefit to her. So it has to be something else that's leading her to do it. Now, I have to be fair, I guess, and say maybe this is an organization that she actually cares about. And if that's the case, that's awesome. Look, a politician being honest for once. Or maybe she's doing it to stick her thumb in the eye of either the right or the evangelicals or the MAGA movement, because people involved in those various movements are not happy about this. And the main person who's not happy about it is Jenna Ellis. And you might recall Jenna Ellis was one of the lawyers for Donald Trump during the whole big lie period. Is she the one who got COVID from Rudy Giuliani farting on her? Or was that Sidney Powell? I think it was Jenna Ellis. I think she got COVID from one of Rudy Giuliani's farts. But anyway, she's been on a tear posting about this. She tweeted, Melania's first campaign fundraiser is a pro-LGBTQ Republican event. This is an example of something Trump is doing that zero Christians can support. Even if you vote for him, which of course you should over Biden, Christ followers cannot support this. And that is just, like, calm down. Jesus Christ. They're Republicans. I know this is inconvenient to you, but some Republicans are gay. Some gay Republicans are Christian. That's just true. And Jen Ellis, you may have whatever feelings you want about that, but as an unwise man once said, facts don't care about your feelings. And you seem to think that your feelings are much more important than the facts. They exist. They exist. I know. The fact that gay people exist is such a constant daily inconvenience for these people, but they do, and some of them choose to be Republicans. I don't know. Maybe they like the flat tax or some shit. I don't know why they're Republicans, but they are. And she wants to help them out. And that's something that she can do. And also, this is something that zero Christians can support. Who the fuck are you to talk for all Christians, Jen Ellis? Are you fucking Christ? Do you think that you are fucking Jesus Christ? You don't talk for all Christians. No Christian talks for all Christians. In fact, I'm going to talk for some of the Christians who, by the way, don't have a problem with gay people. Many of them, including some who are conservative. Yes, some conservative Christians don't feel like the mere existence of gay people is a sign of the end times. That's just not how it works. And so for her to say that she could just speak for all of them and say that we need to excommunicate this group is fucking wild. She goes on to say in another post, no person who truly loves or follows Christ is pro-LGBTQ. And she references John 14:15. I don't even think that that's what it's about, but I don't care enough about the fan fiction to look into it. And then she finally posts, where and when in conflict, I follow Christ over Trump. Get the fuck out of here with that. Where and when in conflict, I follow Christ over Trump. That's not an honest statement. Where and when convenient, I follow Christ over Trump. Where and when it'll make me look really cool and really pure, I follow Christ over Trump. You didn't have a problem with Trump. As recently as 2021, you didn't have a problem with Trump. And I got news for you. Trump, leading up to 2021, was doing some un-Christ-like shit. You know? Politically, in terms of violence. How many people's death can be directly attributed to Donald Trump? Let alone indirectly, COVID and things like that. But literally, he's calling for airstrikes that kill people, kill civilians. I don't think Christ would do that shit. I haven't read every page of the Bible, so it's possible that, he gets really wild in the latter half of the New Testament. I don't know. But I don't think he'd be killing a lot of people. Let alone all of the adultery and all that stuff. And by the way, if you want to talk about, like, abortion or whatever, you don't think that Donald Trump just passed? I'm not saying anything. Except that I kind of am. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. So, it's convenient that all of a sudden you're choosing Christ when your political aspirations, your financial aspirations, are no longer as directly tied to Donald Trump. But, so, she's angry at Melania. She's not the only one. Other conservatives have flooded social media saying it's disappointing. It's utterly disgusting. It's a fundraiser, you weirdo. It's not disgusting. It's literally raising money. Evangelicals who support this should be ashamed. One user, Lamar, says, this is why I will not be voting for him. Lockdown, vaccine, trans Trump is not getting my vote. I'm focusing on local elections only. Okay, look, on some level, I like when people have, a worldview that matters. It's not, everything isn't contingent, and there are lines that you don't want people to cross. That said, some are better than others, so trans Trump? The fuck you say? What is that about? Lockdown, vaccine. Yes, Trump was notably very strong in blocking COVID from our shores. So, okay, turn on him if you want to. It just seems like a super weird day for it. The interesting thing is, we're just days out from the right freaking out about Easter and Trans Day of Visibility and all that stuff. And this is when she chooses to do the thing. I think it's awesome. I don't know exactly what the reason for Melania Trump to do this is, but it feels more honest than almost anything we get out of her. And so I like that. By the way, and just to close the circle here, when Biden acknowledged Trans Day of Visibility, on Easter of all times, the log cabin Republicans called it tone deaf. Look, it is a tough thing to be a log cabin Republican. I don't envy them that incredibly difficult position, considering that almost everyone in the room with them hates their fucking guts. But you're lashing out at Biden? Okay. Have at it. Okay. So anyway, that is coming up on the 20th. We will have to see. Is it a successful fundraiser? Are there protests against a Trump fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago? That is going to be fascinating. And look, Jenna Ellis is trying to score points and clout off of this, but there's a lot of right-wing pundits that want to present themselves as being Christians or whatever, not by ever actually helping anyone, but by saying that they're more moral. It is going to be low-hanging fruit to attack this. But you risk angering Donald Trump, and so it's going to be fascinating to see where different people line up for this. But anyway, that is all the time we have for the pre-port. I want to thank everyone for being here. Yasmin Aliyah Khan joins me for the full show coming up in just a few. We have an amazing rundown. It is just chef's kiss news. I think you're going to really enjoy it. We've got a very strong political ad targeting Donald Trump that we're going to be discussing. We've got Elon Musk's private Twitter activity being revealed, and I think that is fascinating. I would like to forward it to some psychologists. But anyway, all that coming up in just a few minutes. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and I will see you soon.